Hi guys, it's Connie here. I am still here and still pregnant, which is kind of surprising because I thought this baby would come a little early, but that's not the case. So anyways, I thought I would make a really quick pregnancy update and just vlog, kind of like what's been going on, just so I can remember also myself. And just to update you guys as well. As you can tell, my face has gotten a little bit more puffy. My hands are definitely more swollen and my feet are more swollen. Nothing crazy, just a little bit more swollen, and I can't fit my like my wedding rings anymore, so I haven't been wearing them. Also, I've been experiencing some back ache that's similar to the cramping that I get when I'm about to start my period. It's because when I get my period, I start to cramp in my back, and I feel it mostly radiating in my lower back. So I almost feel like those are just sort of like kind of like getting me ready for maybe back labor, I don't know, but I have been experiencing some Braxton Hicks also for the first time in the last few weeks. But the more pressing issue right now for me, and that's causing me a lot of anxiety and stress, is the fact that my baby is still breech at 38 weeks and 3 days. I was recommended to do an ECB procedure, an external cephalic version, and an ECV is where a doctor or two doctors in a hospital setting will manually, from the outside with their hands, try to turn the baby head down. So I went to the hospital with my husband yesterday, and my mom and my dad, and so they got me all set up. They did an NST test on me before they did the procedure and everything was looking good with baby. And so after the nurse set me up with that, a doctor comes in. I can't even describe the way she looked, but anyway, she comes in and she tells me, well, it would have been better if you had done this earlier, this procedure earlier, because then the baby would be smaller and he would be easier to turn. You would also probably have more amniotic fluid and all of that, so it's kind of late. And also the monitor is showing that you are having small, like little contractions. And by the way, that was crazy, because yesterday when I went in for the procedure, I had two very uncomfortable contractions when I was sitting like kind of tilted on the hospital bed with the NST stuff on my belly. I had never felt those sort of like contractions before, ever, until the other day in my pregnancy. And I got a sense for the first time like what they would kind of feel like. So, and then like when we came home and everything afterwards, and also like today, I didn't feel that again. So it was only in that hospital setting when I was about to do the ECV procedure that I actually got a sense of contractions. And I could actually see the monitor showing when I was having like little contractions. And I didn't even know that I was really contracting. I just thought that that was baby moving in a weird way, and my stomach was just tight or something. I don't know. But the nurse was like, oh, you're having little contractions. So then anyway, the doctor, right before she was like gonna do the ECV, she was just sort of talking to me about how I was kind of doing it late, and that the ECV is less likely to work if if I'm having little contractions that the monitor was actually showing. And basically she was saying that she was giving us all sort of like all the risks that that are associated with the ECV and things that could go wrong. So one of the things she said was, if my water were to break during the ECV, then I would basically have to have a C-section right then and there. And the likelihood of it breaking, you know, it's not terribly high, but you know, it was a risk. And then the other thing was that they couldn't tell where the umbilical cord was. So the other risk with ECV is as they're turning the baby can go into distress, or he may have the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, and it could, you know, make his heart rate drop and all that. And that would also cause me to, you know, have a C-section like right then and there. So basically, my husband and I, we went in to the procedure like all gung-ho about it. Like we were so like, okay, this is what we need to do to get our baby head down. Because I had done other things over the last few weeks that I didn't get to mention to you. I tried like chiropractic stuff, Webster technique. It's specifically to help flip babies. I mean, well, not flip babies, but like open up your pelvis so that there's more room for the baby to flip. I went on to spinningbabies.com and did some exercises. I walked. I did a bunch of things over the last few weeks, but the baby still didn't flip. So my husband and I, as we talked more with her, we were getting the sense that the doctor was being more negative than positive about the ECV. And we didn't get a good sense from her. And my husband and I, we really tried to, you know, we really went in with the intention of doing the ECV, but after speaking with her, we just didn't get a good sense. We didn't feel very comfortable with her as well. She just, I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable with her. And it was just this really strong instinct inside of me. And especially I didn't feel comfortable with her because she did my first cervical check ever in this pregnancy before doing the ECV. And that cervical check was so painful. Like, I thought there was like a baseball bat being rammed inside my vagina. I mean, that's how crazy it was. And she just shoved her finger. Once she shoved it again and it went deeper in, and she shoved it again and pushed against something. And I don't know what she was trying to do, but each time I was like, you know, I was like almost on the verge of screaming. And she was so not gentle. She didn't say anything like, okay, it's gonna be uncomfortable, or I'm gonna go in a little bit deeper. Like, no words at all. She just rammed her hand in there, and I was like I felt so violated. I don't know. I just wish that she would have given me some sense of being gentle and like sort of like giving me words of encouragement, but she didn't. She didn't talk through it at all. And it was just like, okay. So anyway, my husband and I, after speaking with her, she just did not give us any positivity or anything. It was all sort of negative, like all the things that could go wrong. It was almost like she was trying to tell us that we shouldn't do it. But then at the same time, she was just leaving it totally up to us. And I would think that a doctor should like advise, you know, the patient, like what they should do, you know, or what would be best, but she wouldn't. We left there not doing the procedure and not feeling good about her. And yeah, so it was a very emotionally draining day for us. So we just decided that we're going to put it in God's hands, and when labor comes and all of that we're going to make the best decision that we can at the time. And even though I didn't want to do a C-section, like I'm like trying everything to avoid doing a C-section, if that's the way this baby is going to come into the world, I'm coming to terms with that. And I think the whole point of that meeting with that doctor and going through that whole thing was for me to get my mind and spirit ready for the possibility of having a C-section, because I really didn't want to. I really didn't. That is not part of my birth plan. I wanted to do a vaginal birth and really have that experience of, you know, pushing out my baby and everything. And I'm slowly coming to terms with the fact that that's not the way it may go because my baby is breech. And who knows, you know, I've heard and read stories of babies turning while women were in labor really late, like right before they were going to give birth. I mean, there are stories where babies do flip, you know, so I'm just going to continue to do my inversions and my exercises and all the stuff that I'm supposed to do to try to get the baby to flip up until I start going into, you know, labor. So that is my update, guys. And yeah, if you pray, please pray for us, for nothing to go horribly wrong and for me to just have peace about everything, because I'm really needing those prayers right now. So anyways, thanks for listening, and I will catch you in the next one.